Hello and welcome back to Race 2, Round 2 of the European Super Touring Championship, the inaugural season of region-based championship. And as per the world rules, it is reverse grid, so Dalmas finished 10th, hence pole, Ingram 9th, hence second. Before we go onto the grid, let's just do a sound check once more for Christian Shepherd. Are you there? Can you
I
hear
am
us?
indeed.
Good, good. And the same for man in the garage, Michael Swinnerton.
Yeah, I've got you.
Anything to report between races 1 and race 2?
They had to replace a headlight.
Which is surprising considering the amount of bumps that happened throughout the penultimate hairpin, or the penultimate turn rather. That double apex hairpin looking thing at the end of the lap. As we await the lights to turn green. More of a front wheel drive presence at the start, but that BMW already through the midfield like a hot knife through butter. Dalmas into the lead now. Ingram falling back into third with McNish up to second, but the Swarm up to the Tarquini chicane in a very misty afternoon here at Dragon Trail Gardens. Dalmas already off rather than holding everybody up. He must have found a setup tweak here or there, but there's McNish with the power down already. Breaking area for Seaside Hairpin.
Nish really should have probably gone for an early move there. Really, he would know how difficult it is to overtake Dalmas on this track at the moment.
Certainly was, as Kubica and Heidfeld already going to get the points in for the BMW effort as Morris is fall victim. One day we'll get that captionometer to work. As Percy and Morris doing privateer teams around the world. Very proud indeed, being 5th and 6th ahead of some factory efforts.
Very loose though.
Yep, that was a wobble on, and everyone else is impacted by that, including a decently well started Hyundai and Tassi up to 9th already, after being stuck in the mid pack for race 1. The Swarm heads towards the double apexer. Dalmas again.
McNish
Ingram
giving him a push there as well. Hyundai's are struggling around the apex of that corner as well, it looks like.
And there's the rest of the Peugeots holding up the other side of the bookend. Barbosa falling back behind Ordonez, who didn't have the best of days earlier on this afternoon. Dalmas and McNish. I think this is going to be the theme for the race.
We'll certainly see how long it lasts for.
Kubica already up to 5th after the Percy hiccups through the Istanbul bends.
Drivers are taking the sausage curve with aplomb at the moment. Certainly not too worried about what it'll do to the suspension. And McNish this time.
A little bit of Vorsprung technique in those Audi TTs compared to everyone else, I reckon. Enough of a safety net on the curbs. Case in point with that one right there. Sausage or not. Ingram
Can't
still
think that McNish would disappear up the front. Although to be fair, these three drivers driving away from Carroll and Kubica currently at the moment.
Kubica's already in the top 5 as he was for race 1.
You do wonder where Grandhome is at the moment.
We have had that. He's fallen back by a couple of places at the start. But we just saw a shot of Ingram around the outside almost of McNish. This is a recurring theme from race 1 as well. Has he managed to get around the outside on the final turn? Oh, the Audi
pace
power.
Of the Audi, yeah. I mean, the unfortunate thing is that Ingram would need to do it, I believe, at least into turn 2, 3 and 4. Oh, very wide there by McNish.
We saw Ingram with a very fast lap, but then of course Grandhomme already in the bag. More points for him, no doubt.
Yeah, Ingram would have to do it here and then try to pull away during the infield to try and pull away from McNish at the moment. Dalmas will be absolutely enjoying those two fighting though. Grandhomme up the inside of one of the BMWs.
That sausage curve has been pretty notorious, even when it was used in Season 1, Swinny, on the end of the Tarquini chicane.
Yeah, we abused it as well.
Dalmas has lost his
McNish,
position. When did that happen?
let's see. Well, we were expecting it to happen. McNish down the inside. Let's rewind. Let's go back. I'm assuming this is the move that should have been pulled off sooner.
White fate to the outside there. And just outbraked him.
Power.
Yeah. And then just shut the door on him.
And for some reason, a loss of enthusiasm from the Frenchman in the French car. Quelle
I don't
surprise.
believe that. I don't believe that would be the case. I think it's more to do with you don't want to keep fighting and just losing, more and more time if that's what's going to be happening there. Here comes Ingram. Like, I'll be surprised if this is around the outside.
He's been sitting on purple sectors as well as McNish. And that's
There
around
it
the
is.
outside, if you please. We're seeing some elite manoeuvres. We saw it earlier with Grandhomme in race
But
1.
he's got himself back up to 6th place.
Well recovered.
Here comes Grandhomme. Oh, that's a bit of a dive up the inside, maybe.
Is it going to...
Oh, blocked by the...
Hyundai. We saw that earlier, again.
We did indeed. That's allowed Morris to not only go through, but open a nice gap. That was a very interesting manoeuvre there from... Not quite sure who we're looking at there, from Tassi.
Oh,
it's
slide
like
on, but... Oof. I was
front
really
wheel
expecting...
drives. Yeah, the front wheel drives, especially some of the newer models, when they're going around there, if they're going around too far on the outside, they do not like it. I'm not seeing that problem with the Fords at the moment. Certainly not with the Megane in the previous race. That's a bit of a tussle
It
there.
was. None of them went near the sausage of the top of the Tarquini chicane then, and perhaps have fallen back into the grips of Percy. There he is. There's Nilsson and the other Scirocco as well of Morris. T-side hairpin.
Right,
Tassi.
Grandhomme. He's going to be wanting some payback for that manoeuvre from Tassi there. Bianchi's still down in 12th place, really struggling since the third position there. Grandhomme really trying. He's put on the sweatpants and he's ready to really go for it at the moment. Rocco's ahead. We're used to seeing that in the previous year for the World Touring. On to him taking a slightly different line to Tassi. Tassi's still getting in the way.
Okay. The snake in the midfield is still there. The top two starting to break away from the front, and the back of the pack trying to put Carroll down on the inside.
Yeah, Carroll not having any of that then. Absolutely good move there.
What a day.
But has that Peugeot got any straight line speed? It doesn't seem to.
If anything, it seems to be fairly balanced then. I mean, we're seeing more powerful cars further back, especially that Scirocco getting a slide on from turn 1. That should be higher, as should perhaps the second of the BMWs, the Heidfeld, the team leader, mind you.
The LC's got past both of them. The LC's managed to find a way past both Heidfeld and Bianchi. Sudden turn of pace there for the Hyundai. They were really struggling in the top 15 in the previous race. Now they've managed to seem to hold on to 9th and 11th at the moment. Grandhomme seems to have just backed off.
Down the inside.
Vettel there in 14th as well, very far back.
Yeah, Kia Rennsport Privateer run M4. As Radicic and Wilkenhock not having the best of days in their privately run Europcar Motorsport Civics, but in
Well, both
stark
Civics.
contrast to the other
Yeah.
Peugeots, or the other Peugeot singular, these three are not having the best of days. Kubica has fallen down to
Dalmas is
6th.
down to 7th. Oh, not quite.
Dalmas,
Dalmas said not today. It's too many. It's too many. It's on the Swinny shuffle. And he was
in
not too
fairness,
many.
there's been a few of them all day.
There has been
Today, this
indeed,
race
yeah.
and the race earlier.
It's just that park on the. Is that a? I wonder if that's like a stability problem, because it seems poorly set up to try and take those two corners. Like he's just lost 2 positions because they just simply can't get any kind of pace out of there or a good angle to turn.
Were you able to
Rondo
glean, Swinney, were you able to glean any kind of communication from the guys in the Peugeot pits, you know, the privately run one and the blue one we're seeing there? Because that seems to be the main culprit of the penultimate turn and the behaviours through it.
No, but I think what we are seeing
Oh,
is
sorry,
the difference between who's got what set up on, because you can see who is being a bit more stable through certain corners and then who isn't, and having to slam on the brakes to rein the car back in.
And we'll find that out now with
Grontom's make it nearly
on the
3 wide there.
inside of
Grontom tried to get back to
Kubica,
him.
who's
No,
now
it's happening.
fallen back. He was aiming for top 5, and all of a sudden, 3 laps later, the minor points paying positions with the absolute
Oh, Grontom, and oh, that's a big shunt into the side of Dalmas.
We did not see any of this apart from like, the hairpin turns of Barcelona, but through the piff paths in the infield, this has been
Oh,
something. This is different. This is something else.
No, this is unfortunate. The problem is, I think, that especially with Kubica, he's been pushed back by Dalmas.
And his
As
teammate
Dalmas has
now.
been dropping down, yeah, as Dalmas, oh, that's a collision. As Dalmas has been coming down, he's been slowing people on the apex. Look there, there's got to be something about that. The drivers are going to be looking at Dalmas and asking a few questions. If you can't take the corner,
already,
yeah.
this is your pole sitter from race 2, and it's clearly evident that something is awry with that car.
Certainly a
Has to
miss,
be.
yeah. Did
If the
find
other
it
three-
qualifying though. Not quite sure why they're struggling so much on track.
Still, I suppose it's the early day teething issues of a formula that in some cases it would work. It's happened before. We're going back a few years, nearly 20. 2 different types of touring car formula managed to sort of crowbar together.
Questions are going to be asked about these Peugeots, though. I mean, there's 3 right at the back at the moment. Dalmas is just about, out driving the car. Let's be fair, with his position at the moment. There'll be a few questions being asked of the, unfortunately, of whether the Peugeots even have, well, any kind of competitive nature to them at the moment for this, especially considering how much it's causing problems for the drivers.
We probably won't know until we get to the next round. Now, McNish flying away. That's evidence with his fastest lap. Ingram holding on to second after a decent front row start.
Grontom was dropped off Luizzi there after overtaking Dalmas.
Here's the other
happened in a hot flash.
Okay. I think under pressure, the sort of apex of the penultimate turn seems to be where it happens. But if it's all line astern, everyone seems to be going through their well-behaved. On home in 8th.
Had a slight tyre squeal there. Probably from one of the VWs.
Decent run from Tassi this time by. Liuzzi in the other one. Not far, well, I was going to say not far behind, but he's now
miles
repeating
behind,
what you just saw.
Yeah.
As with Heidfeld.
Yeah, and Dalmas has now dropped even further back. Bianchi has done no favours for himself this race, unfortunately. He was very, very quick at the start of
And
race
it must be
race
said,
one.
if he hasn't done anything, neither has Jarno Capelli, with a win at Brands Hatch, is holding up by
Holding up
by
a Peugeot is
coincidence.
an unusual one, yeah, let's be fair.
Oh, here's the Europe cars, the Honda privateer team. Managing
Winklehawk up
to...
the in. Oh no, not Winklehawk. Sorry, my apologies. Or is that?
That
That is indeed
was
Winklehawk. My
almost.
apologies. Govan dropping back. Oh no, it's not dropping back. Might be up to 16th at the moment. Yeah, up to 16th, past both the Civics. Don't get to see these guys too often. Can't be doing themselves any favours with a sponsorship. There's Dalmas again. Dropped even further back. It's now down to 12th. Let's see if Vettel will have him into the last two corners here.
On board, privateer BMW, Vettel. Can't see in the mirrors. And, well, that's a pretty dangerous recurring theme if ever there was one from Dalmas. Not
be
looking
said,
positive through the
you would-
braking area for the apex for that penultimate turn.
I do have to say, it's got to be said that you would think that the drivers would actually understand to make a move around the outside, knowing that he's going to be very slow on the apex. We've seen it in race one, where they'd been where they decided that was the case, and Morris is just holding
Up
off.
Tassi.
Tassi, all of a sudden, Tassi's found some pace. The Hungarian, with a pun intended, hungry for another position.
Grondom still being held up by him. But
I
look
think
at
Rondon
what's...
would be in a better place right now than he was a couple of laps ago with the unfortunate Dalmas.
Having practiced well, having qualified well, the two Lloyd's privateers are putting some of these factory efforts to shame.
Suits the track. So suits the car. The track does. Nice and quick. The Ford does seem to have a very good grasp on some top speed. Not amazing throughout the corners, but they certainly do seem to hold their own down that straight.
Speaking of good days, you've got Ingram ahead of them. Decent haul of points for another privateer car.
Tassi, is he gonna? Have to be a right drag to turn one. There's VW's just like the Fords, very good top speed.
You see it pulling away, but we're going to see these two now probably get a wobble on through turn one.
Has been happening.
There we go.
That'll be possibly toe angle on the rear tyres to allow them to turn better in the slower corners, but it affects him in the faster ones to get a... Oh, he's just going around the outside here.
Shuffle through the chicane.
Oh, not quite. Maybe on the exit up here.
Mind your sausage. Oh, careful, careful.
Yep, there's the
Around
exit.
the outside of Morris.
Aye, aye.
Okay. Case in point. But then surely that Scirocco's got the grunt to get to the seaside hairpin. Maybe not. Recovering from the chicane.
Yeah, very spread out now, these cars, aren't they? There was not so much into what's got race one, but now there is definitely gaps flowing between them. I'll be happy Heidfeld with 10th at the moment. Same with Kubica with 11th.
Yeah, they
Dalmas
were looking good
really
in race
dropped
one.
off.
Different temperature in race two, perhaps. Obviously, it's later in the day. But Heidfeld's got Liuzzi in front of him and primed for 3 more laps to get a chance to get ahead. 2.5.
BMW's not too happy around the Istanbul complex. Does seem to have a grasp on it.
Backstretch. This is going to be where...
He's trying to sell him a dummy there. Goes back up the inside.
He's not enough of a space there. I wonder... Yep,
Oh, he's
that was a bit...
Bit unusual there.
Bit of Dalmas syndrome of Heidfeld. Unexpected.
Yeah, it's possible that they locked the brakes. Oh, we're back. We're back with Tassi, who is now staring down the barrel of 5th place. He goes, I've done this to your team, mate. I'm going to do it to you. Up the inside I go.
side by side, back ahead, but then is it going to be on for the Seaside hairpin once more?
Oh,
Looks like it is.
it
Looks like it
is.
is. Tassie's up to
No,
5th. Great bit of play.
Tassie's got a favour. Potentially a podium here. Oh, Grondhome's just snuck into there. Up to 7th place for Grondhome.
Still getting some decent battles out of this spread out field. Whilst the back of the pack just negotiate the Tarquini chicane. They're still leading. Lap and a half of goodness to go. Tassie
See the
5th.
differences in the two lines there that the front wheel drives and the rear wheel drives take. It's very telling, especially for drivers.
Now I'm expecting, with all the will in the world to the Lloyd's team, that Tassie's going to get ahead of them before the end of the race.
Well, Percy's now got a very much Hyundai all over him. Just see the VW just fly up behind. Made a very interesting sort of half-hearted move into the inside there as well.
Nobody playing anything stupid through that penultimate turn as well. On board.
No.
The back of Percy.
On to now the last lap. Leaders going into turn 1. Do love the sound of that Ford, I've got to be fair with you.
Nilsson with a wobble on. Grontom with less of a wobble on, but not enough to gain.
Oh, Tassie. Oh,
It's
Tassie pushing Percy plus Carroll at the moment.
Down twist.
Oh, that's a tight line there for Percy. That's not going to help you, son.
Might he had a wobble on. Tassie you'd think would capitalise, but here's Nilsson. I'm pretty sure I saw Nilsson with a bit of a gain on. Seaside hairpin coming up.
Trying to sell him a dummy. We got Tassie at the inside. Oh, kinda.
Just trying for Percy there. Bit of a tap from Tassie.
That's Tassie trying to just shorten the line for Percy there. What that has done is it's given Carroll a great opportunity to finish third here.
Great team effort from Team Lloyds then. I expected that to be a bit of a capitulation with the last lap looming, the last couple of turns, the last couple of apexes through Istanbul complex. But look at McNish and Ingram, they're close. I think they're going to be close for the braking area. Okay, maybe not, but
no,
what a drive from
back.
Ingram. Very good drive from McNish as well. That's going to be points. That's going to be very decent points for both, and incredible points for a privateer team.
Yeah,
in a championship in its infancy. I wonder if
Ingram
the
will
Ford
pull over.
Forward. Look at that, he's happy with that. He's definitely happy. So will the two Lloyds boys. Tassie did not capitalise on that. Lutzi still getting a decent 9th.
Yeah,
Heidfeld 10th.
got away from Heidfeld, yeah. Very good drive there from Lutzi.
A bit of a capitulation, if ever there was one, from Kubica, who really should have been in the top 5. We don't know how that far down the tree he fell, hitting every branch on the way down. McNish with the win then. If all being said, still balancing needs to be done, but the racing has been very good indeed. Christian.
Definitely a lot better in that second race. I'd have to admit. There is, I mean, to take away from this, as much as we're now looking at a possible Audi dominance, as they won both race 1 and 2, you do have to look towards those Peugeots. Unfortunately, they do not seem to be up to scratch.
Swinny, did we expect Team Lloyds to do so well as a privateer team?
Not that well. I mean, those were brand new Ford Focuses, and we know what the Ford is capable in the World Series, but not 3rd and 4th well.
Now, it seemed that there wasn't much. I mean, there's not much to say about in the pit lane. There's obviously no pit stops. Was everyone sort of biting their nails at that race?
Oh yes, there was tension that was, cuttable with a knife.
And then Peugeot looking a bit glum, no doubt.
Yeah, Peugeot looked positively peed off at what's gone on today.
So we'll cut it short again. We'll start the next round with the point standings. But for the time being, Adrian Michael Reese, Christian Shepherd, and in the pits, Michael Swinnerton, blah, blah, blah. Good racing, everyone.